Welcome to Lesson 2. Be sure to check out the PowerPoint presentations and questionnaires for additional information such as energy exercises that are associated with this lesson. So let's talk about ethics in the Wiccan Rede. And the Wiccan Rede, of course, says, "And it harm none, do it thou wilt." It's a double-edged sword, cautions you not to harm others, but at the same time urges you to be all that you can be. Robin Wood in From When, Why, If said, "There are no gray areas in Christianity, no moral dilemmas, just right and wrong, simple and clear cut. There are no natural consequences for your actions, no personal responsibility for any outcome, no reasoning, no thinking of any kind required. In short, no ethics at all. Just a list of things to be memorized and a simple formula of repentance and forgiveness if you forget or decide to skip one." Our path is not based on guilt like that. Our path is based on responsibility. Where the Abrahamic system can be summarized by the expression, "thou shalt not," our system can be summarized by the statement, "I will not." It's based on personal responsibility, not guilt. I often run into people who have suffered a number of misfortunes and setbacks in their lives, and it's amazing how many of these people will lay the blame on the misfortunes on cross stars, bad luck, or psychic attack. They extend vast quantities of energy on trying to improve their luck or put up psychic wards and fire off energetic salvos at those they hold responsible for their troubles. If things go wrong, they find someone or something else to blame. They resort to hexes and retribution and all kinds of other methods to try and deal with these. Journalist P.J. O'Rourke once aptly described the situation as follows. "One of the annoying things about believing in free will and individual responsibility is the difficulty of finding someone to blame your problems on. And when you do find somebody, it's remarkable how often his picture turns up on your driver's license." In Judeo-Christian Islamic systems, transgressors are threatened with divine retribution. They tell you that some deity will whack you if you get out of line. That isn't the way we view the world. In Wicca, as in Eastern philosophies, one encounters the concept of karma. The word karma derives from the Sanskrit word meaning action. It can be described as the totality of a person's actions determining their fate in this life or in other incarnations in the future. In other words, karma is the law of cause and effect. Now, in Wicca, they have this thing called the law of threefold return, which was established by Raymond Buckland. And it said basically everything you do comes back to you 3 times. So in other words, whatever you put into life, you get back 3 times over. If you do positive works, you get more abundant positive benefit in return. If you do negative and destructive things to one another, then you suffer even worse consequences to yourself. Of course, this is a feedback loop. And if magicians had come up with proof of this system in the past few centuries, I'm sure that you'd have heard about it. Actually, it started as a public relations soundbite to help the public understand that we were harmless Wiccans. It was simple and effective, and actually Gardner's original version was a 2-fold law. But anyway, the idea of the thing is pass it forward. I think it's more accurate to use the concept of karma rather than the 3-fold law, because that more accurately describes what happens in the real world. What you do gets passed forward by others and will eventually make its way back to you. So another reason that the Wiccan warrior's path must be a non-violent one. See, the responsibility business is about taking charge of your life. If you think of the universe as an ocean and yourself as a boat on that ocean, an ocean is often tempestuous and treacherous. You could let yourself drift at the mercy of fate and let the currents take you wherever it will, or you can set the sails, grab the tiller, and steer. You can't adjust the wind, but you can adjust the sails. Being a warrior is about steering your course through life. And you remember from lesson 1, I told you that a warrior is a person who makes a fearless and objective inventory of their personal characteristics and uses that information by taking control of their life. In other words, they take responsibility for it. So let's now briefly talk about meditation, which is related to the principle from our magical artillery, which you run in later lessons, called to keep silent. And is also related to the second warrior precept, which is nurture the ability to perceive the truth in all matters, and the 8th warrior precept, which is perceive that which cannot be seen with the eye. It's said that silence is the warrior's art and meditation is his sword. To keep silent is to become pure awareness, and this is what meditation is all about. In Asian arts, they describe it as mind like water, mind like the moon. Getting into this state helps you to bring all 5 senses up to maximum perceptive levels, which allows you to more accurately determine what is out and around you that you need to deal with. It disciplines your mind. Now, I'm talking here about flow states, not trance states. We want enhanced states of consciousness, not merely altered states. When they talk about the concept of no mind in Asian martial arts, or what David Gemmell calls the illusion of elsewhere, they're talking about greater understanding. Bruce Lee said, to understand the actual describes awareness, an alert and totally free mind. And that's basically what we're talking about. Now, if you've ever tried to meditate, you'll come across distraction. Survival and threat assessment is what the brain's really good at. Thinking isn't. On the average, we're distracted every 3 to 1/2 seconds. And if you become distracted during meditation, simply saying, thinking to yourself and start again is a good way to deal with it. So if something starts to interfere with your meditation, just go, okay, recognize that thinking, go back to what you were focusing on. Now, normally our consciousness or our perception is about 70% vision, and the remaining 30% is divided between the other 4 senses of hearing, smell, touch, and taste. And even that extra sense, which is what we use for our psychic abilities. Letting yourself become still and silent allows you to sense energy currents around you with all of those senses. This not only allows you to select which energetic currents you will allow into your personal space, it allows you to select which currents you want to deflect or ground out. I have all kinds of people contact me all the time saying, I have to defend myself from psychic stuff. No, you don't really. Really what you have to learn to do is swim. You need to learn to select the ones you want and divert the ones you don't. This becoming still and silent allows you to separate the energy you want to flow through you from the energy you want to flow around you. So take that, go take a look at the PowerPoint and look at the energy exercises and go out there and be glorious.